Alright guys, this is Notrak Outbak's very first ever podcast. Over the next hour and a bit, me and Ryan are going to be talking about a couple things that we've been doing in this past spring and summer. So first off, we're going to talk about our kayak trip and the video. Then we're going to talk about prepping for bow season, do a quick touch on broadheads and recurve versus compound bows. Then we're going to talk a little bit about our spring bear takedown video and what was going on during the taking of that video. We're going to touch on conservation a little bit, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about our kayak video and the grizzly encounter that we had on it. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy.
So we'll touch on some footage and videos coming soon, which will obviously be, because the one that we just did was the kayak video.
Yep.
The 16-minute long one. That one was good. It was good. It was a good time. Good experience. I know you probably wanted to get more of the bear
I
talking.
think we just had a problem. We just had lots of footage missing. Like we had lots of big parts of the day that we didn't videotape at all.
Yeah. Parts that should have been part of the journey of the video. Because the video itself doesn't have much structure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's
Content.
It's like there's pieces missing, right?
Yeah.
Throughout.
You're only getting like half the story.
Like I think the way that Jason edited it was, well, he made it in like on a daily, like it says, the next morning or the second morning or the second evening or whatever.
So it's kind of
But we didn't have enough content to fill. Like it went from the first morning to like the second night and nothing in between.
It's like doing kind of like a mini documentary.
Yeah.
Without the content.
But we just didn't have enough
to fill it.
And that's our own fault. We had lots of paddling videos.
Yeah.
And we had lots of very long videos, like 12-minute, 13 minutes of just paddling.
There's 45-minute videos on there too, where I forget.
Oh really?
I forget to even turn it off.
It was just paddling, right?
So those are hard to get through for one, just to watch paddling. So the footage is like, it's long enough to be a mini documentary, documentary about like a little kayak video and outdoor trip. It's just we didn't have enough.
Well, and we didn't talk to the camera enough.
Yeah.
We didn't do enough camera work, period, which was fine because that was the first trip we ever really
done any filming on.
Yeah,
it
was
mine.
because we had the camera issues with the old camera that we had replaced, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was wrong with it again? The battery, or just kept cutting off.
Yeah, it just kept turning off. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the battery. It's just
No, cause
camera, isn't it?
yeah, cause it kept the other batteries and they were fine.
A lot of beginner things, but that's to be expected anyways, I'd say.
Well, and with this moose hunt we're gonna talk about later, that's kind of what I want to do. The same thing, the way that Jason edited it, but we're gonna have a lot more content, a lot more like us talking to the camera, and a lot more in action kind of videos, short ones, right? We don't need 45-minute videos of people of us paddling.
Short to the point, really. I'd say. Because a lot of times nobody wants to sit there and just watch for 16 minutes.
Well, that's
right?
the thing.
Especially if there's not
the
enough.
feedback that I heard about the kayak video was just that it's so long and drawn out. Some of the scenes of us just paddling.
Yeah. Nobody talking, just nothing.
No, nothing's happening, right?
Yeah. Just paddling. A lot of it. You watched it. There's a lot of that, right? Not a lot of anything else going on.
Yeah, there wasn't much.
It's just nobody's fault, but our own.
But there are some
lack
good.
of other.
There is some good footage in there, like you showing camp on the second or third morning,
The second.
and the walk or the kind of like the little interview thing I did the last morning after we found the bear tracks. So we need to do more of that stuff because that's good footage and it's good. People want to watch that.
Well, especially the one where you were talking about kids. That would have been great, but
there's no sound though.
The sound.
If you guys do like a weekend like survival trip again, you guys should like film what you guys are eating. Like if you're making stuff out there, you know?
Yeah. Like pretty much every little thing that we do, right?
Except for paddling.
And that's yeah. Maybe get a couple minutes of paddling in, and then you can just use that into the video.
As
right?
cutscenes.
Yeah, cutscenes. Or you could even, like you said, if you just try and record everything, making the fire, making the shelter, cutting down some trees for the shelter, you know.
Yeah, showing like actually showing people our area and our camp and what happened, like telling people, we have to talk to the camera.
It's got to be like a video journal. That's what it is. What we were talking about, right? So we need to be able to just have it on all the time. I think not all the time, but like for
We just need to use it
majority
more.
of the
We just
time,
have to
yeah.
remember it's there more.
Yeah, not get too hasty out there. Because a lot of the times you just want to build shelter right away and just not worry about anything else. That's how I get, anyways.
Yeah.
Just
Well, with this moose hunt, we're not gonna build anything.
yeah, we're gonna have shelter.
Just gonna take a
Alright.
tent with us.
Yeah, so we know that. And you get good canoe shots, good everything. It's gonna be way better.
Yeah. I think we'll plan out our trip. Find out about that canoe. Then we'll start planning our trip and then we can plan maybe some shots that we want. Plan the video out before and get those shots and then get extra stuff.
Yeah, actually put effort into
Producing.
the work beforehand too.
Yeah. We
Prep
gotta
work.
be better. Better production than we have been.
Can you drink? Yeah. More production. So. And better structure.
We just have to know what we gotta film. Start trying to guess when we're out there. So what are we? We're 15 days from bow season today. August 10th.
August 10th, yep. August 10th. 15 days, isn't it? And that'll lead us into the moose hunt, right? So we'll be leaving on the 23rd, you said?
Yeah, well we're gonna it'll definitely be between the 25th and
Where are we going? Where are we going to launch from? I actually don't remember.
Whitecourt.
Wait,
Yeah, we can talk about that later though. Talk about the moose hunt after.
yeah.
So with bow season coming up, gotta get back into shooting lots.
Yeah, today. Like we were saying earlier.
Yeah, we did a little bit of shooting earlier. Yeah, I found I haven't shot for a little while, just because I haven't had arrows since bear season. There's been so much going on, and I kind of hate myself for getting away from shooting so much. But I finally got arrows, and I did a little bit of shooting last night, and just from the first 3 arrows that I shot, the grouping compared to the last 3 arrows that I shot, it honed in it went from 6-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch spread between arrows to like a 3-inch grouping. So just from
Taking the rust off. That's what it sounds like.
yeah,
right?
just from getting getting the groove back,
Yeah.
brought it back in already. And that was I was shooting right before dark. And I shot from 20, I shot from 30, I shot from 40.
How many arrows? How many arrows do you like to shoot in the field? Does it all depend when you get out there? I have to
It
say
all depends how I feel. I was just shooting at home, right? So I wanted to try those new arrows out and make sure that they were the same weight, but they're a new brand and new style of arrows. So kind of had to make sure they were gonna be sighted in for my bow, and they are. So I didn't have to change anything.
Where did you get them? Bellows?
Yeah, they're just gold. They're the gold tip hunter. Yeah, and then there's one more. There's a little bit more expensive gold tip one above that, but I really like the shaft size. It's a little bit bigger than what I usually shoot, and it fits heads better, and it's actually lighter, but it's a little bit
Wider, like
yeah. It's got a bigger diameter than my other ones, and so far
would be like this compared to like a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
Comparing pen. Increase that in size, you get a better grip.
Yeah,
maybe on the edge
exactly.
of your finger. So yeah, we'll be leading into bow season. Get all the practicing we need in. I find that I am not fucking good at all.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have to, you're gonna have to shoot lots.
Yeah, definitely be shooting the next 2 weeks. 10 days, 15 days.
Well, even you, just from starting out today to tweaking your technique a little bit, some new things to try, think about.
Taking some tips, yeah.
Brought it in quite a bit. You went from not hitting anything to
Exactly.
hitting consistently.
And I found the arrow was a lot too. It seems like it was a lot different than the broadhead one that I was shooting.
They were a little bit heavier arrow. You don't need, like, that's a pretty heavy arrow. So you shoot a little bit of lighter one and it just flies better.
But when we're out there and I need to throw broadhead on, and then I need to know that I'm hitting the exact same way I'm hitting with that field head.
That's why you should be practicing with the same arrows. So we'll get it figured out.
To replicate it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a guy on Facebook the other day that was saying like the tips matter. The tips make that big of a
Do they?
difference.
Yeah, I think I seen that post.
Yeah. Well, what?
Yeah, I was reading your comments there.
Green, as long as it weighs the same as the field tip, but then
Well,
people were
theoretically,
talking about the four blades.
theoretically,
4 blades.
the same weight should shoot the same weight, but broadheads are shaped different.
Yeah, they're shaped completely different.
And
I thought of that after.
lots of broadheads are shaped completely different than other broadheads. Some have wide blades, some have solid blades, some have blades that are just
What are the ones that come out? The mechanical ones, right?
mechanical.
Yeah. Totally different than a broadhead, dude. Right? Shooting it.
Well, a mechanical shoots a lot more like a field tip because it's folded into basically the size of a field tip, and then when it makes contact, it opens, right? But I don't like shooting mechanical. I don't believe in shooting mechanical broadheads, and some people do. Some people will swear by them, but I just don't like the idea of something that's completely out of my control going wrong at this last split second. Like if it doesn't open, it'll still go in the animal, or it might even bounce off. But if it goes in and doesn't open, doesn't do anything, then
You just injured an animal.
yeah, exactly.
Now you're dealing with a whole other set of problems.
Not to mention your HUD's spoiled, right?
And you're a little bit upset after that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just not. I don't know. It's just I know broadheads work, regular fixed blades, so
The less things that can go wrong, the better, right?
that's my thinking anyway. But I also like the primitive, shooting recurves and shooting feathered, like making my own feathered arrows and all that stuff.
Fletching.
Yeah, doing the fletching and all that fun stuff.
The recurve is fun, and I don't think you can shoot it thinking that you're gonna always hit the target that you're looking at.
Well, that just comes with
dedication,
experience,
right?
yeah, dedication, commitment.
It's totally different, I'd say. That's why I want a compound, because I like the target shooting a lot. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
You just have to get good at recurve and you'll love it. You will absolutely.
Oh, I bet, but damn. The learning curve, I don't know, it seems like it did be a little bit bigger than the compound, not to say that it's not hard in the
Yeah.
right? Because you gotta pay attention to all your mechanisms, your level, right? I see you watching that every time. You wait till it gets to the middle perfectly, slows down, and then you fire off that arrow. And it's super accurate.
Yeah, it is.
You're hitting my arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, like we were playing arrow tag out there a little bit. Getting within 2 inches, 1 inch, taking feathers off you, like consistently. It's pretty accurate. Mind you, that was only at 20 yards, but I'm still.
When you did the bear at, what was that, 42 yards this spring?
Oh, the one that was on video.
Yeah, the one that we got right to the tree.
I think. Well, we didn't know. That was completely.
You didn't have your fight.
I never. No, I didn't have. I never. It's on the video. I never looked at it through the rangefinder.
I can't remember if you had it at all.
I think it was in the truck. I left it in the truck because we thought we got it right.
Yeah. in the leg, or at least.
No, because we went in there because we heard it rolling around, right? So we were gonna go in there for
Oh, after you shot.
just to pop it off, right? And no, I did have the rangefinder when I shot at the first try in the back. That was ranged. That was ranged at. What did I? So there was that little shelf, right? We came down off the trail, shelf down, like sheared off, like 10, 12 feet, right, just straight down. I actually had to slide down it. And then there was another shelf, and then it sheared off another 6, 7 feet, and then it went across a little.
Like a ravine type thing.
A little ditch, and that's where the bear was sitting, right on the willows, right on the tree line. And he did not give a shit. That other one took off though, right? Like the one that was with him took off and went up across the trail and just stood on its hind legs and watched the truck the whole time.
Watched us
stop the other one. Right? It was a little bit unnerving because we didn't even have
the rifle that time.
We didn't even take a gun with us. We were just a little bit spontaneous, but we were safe.
We're out there with Eric's compound, my recur, and I think I brought like 1 arrow.
You had 2.
2. You had your 3.
No, you only had 1 when you went. You had 2 when we were at the truck, but you only had 1. You only went in with 1.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so I shot it at what, like, I think it was 28, and I had to shoot it through a little box of openings in the spruce boughs.
How could I ever exaggerate that, eh?
And I got him in the back. And we thought we got him good, because he was moaning and he was flipping around.
Yeah.
And
we waited.
Well,
you said we'll wait there for like 5 minutes for him
wait
to stop.
5-10 minutes till we can't hear him rolling around anymore. We could still hear him, so I was like, okay, well, we better just go. Probably shouldn't have. Probably shouldn't have gone in there, but I
we didn't know he was taking off that fast.
I felt like I had a good shot on him, right? We didn't hear him anymore, so we went in, and when we walked down there, we found the arrow, right? Well, that I hit him with.
Yeah, blood. Had blood on the end of it, didn't it?
Well, it was all full of blood.
That was the one that went right through him. Well, what happened to the other one?
No, I think he
hit him the first time.
He bit the arrow in half. It shot him in the back, right?
Yeah,
and then
but
he bit the very first one.
What about the other shot?
Oh, in the foot?
Yeah, was it in the foot, or did we ever?
We didn't even find any blood.
Okay. I thought that was the one
We found.
blood on.
Well, we did. There was like a knife cut to the finger kind of amount of blood. Like there was a couple drops on the arrow, but he bit the arrow right in half and pulled it out. The broadhead was still laying there too, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
So it wasn't.
Great.
It was fuck all, right? And then I think when we caught up to him, he was just licking his leg. He wasn't injured because he took off from where we seen him the first time.
Yeah. And you could hear him huffing in there.
Oh, he was. Yeah, exactly. And he obviously was fine. The way he took off after I shot him the second time too, he was obviously fine, right? Mm-hmm. With that shot anyway. And then that was at for that first shot when I got him in the foot. That was at 42.
We weren't sure.
And I think I ranged him at 42. He looked down, so I took a couple quick steps. It might have been 40. Then I had to shoot him, and then
he wasn't broadside though.
He was quartering away. And
yeah.
as soon as I shot, he was looking at us. As soon as I shot, he started running, and I watched that arrow. I watched him run away from that arrow, and it hit him right in the back of the leg.
Oh, he heard it. Then he knew that you were shooting at him.
Yeah.
He heard it.
Well, I watched him. I watched him get out of the way of the arrow, and it ended up hitting him in the leg. And then we went up the road. Well, we looked for him, and he was there, and he was defensive. So we thought we better leave him alone.
Yeah, especially when I'm going in there with a rifle. And
we couldn't find any blood really, so except for point of impact, and he just bit the arrow in half. Like, there was no blood on the broadhead either, just blood on the ground a little bit.
So you know he's not that injured.
So I didn't. He like it was obviously not anything serious. But then we came back down the road, and there he was, with another one.
Like the whole time, Courtney's like watching our back in the truck.
Yeah.
And because we're paranoid of that other bear coming
Yeah,
down.
that other bear. Well, when we drove up, the other bear ran off, wasn't it, or was it?
Yeah, no, it was when we drove up.
Yeah,
he took off into the bush.
Ran across and then was watching us, and I just said to Courtney, I said, if he starts moving towards us at all, just start honking the horn like crazy.
And then I look back some of the times and I see Courtney like staring at us. I'm like, what if she's staring at us and the bear is walking across the road right now? She's like, don't worry, she's got this.
And then so from that shelf, I think it was 30, 28 maybe. and I shot through that little window of trees and I hit him in the back.
Yeah, no,
and,
that was.
and we both thought we got him good.
Mm-hmm.
We both thought
It
we
was
hit
a
him.
good shot.
It was a good shot. It was
Very
just
good
high.
Shot, yeah.
And that's just has to do with the way I was. I think we just. I mean, not to try and make excuses or anything, but shooting through a little window.
Mm-hmm.
We were elevated
trees.
too. We were like 12 feet up on the bear.
Mm-hmm.
So shooting downwards, that'll.
He was facing broad.
And he was
Broadside.
completely broadside. Yeah.
He just sitting there. Didn't even care that we were there.
Yeah. So then he went.
Nerve wracking.
He went tumbling through the bush, and we waited 10 minutes maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and we heard him stop.
Definitely thought that was a kill shot.
Yeah, I thought I got him in the lungs. That's what I said to you. I said I got him in the lungs. Like, he's
just
gonna
wait
be.
a minute.
I said just wait.
Yeah.
We'll just wait.
Just wait.
And he kind of tumbled around, and I figured for sure that's just like a deer when you shoot him in the lungs. You know, they'll run 20 yards maybe sometimes, depending how good. And then, you know, like you walk up there and there's freaking lungs hanging on the trees. Like, you know, you got him good, right? And there was like blood everywhere, right?
Yeah,
There was a lot of blood.
Didn't get as much pictures as I wanted because I think he puked up some of his organs or something. I think didn't we see a bunch of his organ or like a lung or something?
After the first shot?
No, after the second one that went through him. He got him 3 times.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
That went through his back though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because remember we found it. Just the front half of the arrow was in him still. When we got home, remember?
That's right. Yeah,
And he had bit the second one. He bit that one in half too and pulled the back out, but the broadhead was still inside of his back.
The third one I'm thinking went right through.
Yeah, and the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
then
was thinking of the wrong.
how did we followed him through this old riverbank, eh?
Yeah. Must have been one.
We came up on the left. We followed his blood trail down into where the riverbank started.
Bunch of willows.
Or the creek through some high grass, and then his blood trail went into some real thick, like deadfall almost, hey? Like with some thick spruce trees. I decided no, we're not going in there. But there's a clearing up there. Maybe we can get up and around and see him from the other side, because we could still hear him moving.
Mm-hmm. He was moving.
And
fast.
he had gone a long ways. Like we were, like the trail we took was probably, like we probably walked like 400 yards around this little bend.
Yeah. He's walking around.
And then we went up on. I said, okay, well, he's definitely down in that lower part, so let's go up on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And at least then, as soon as I could see him, I could just shoot him down, right? Or even if he decides to move on us, we didn't know how injured he was.
We didn't even know how injured he was exactly.
So we caught up to him, and then that's where the video was. Actually, the video started where we got into that thick stuff, went up on the hill.
Yeah. Right when you're like, okay, we know where he is. We know what's going on.
Yeah, so we went up on the hill, and then I didn't even range it. Didn't even have a rangefinder. I just guessed. I was thinking 38, 40.
I seen you when I was there. I remember you were like thinking about pulling. It looked like, and then you're like, no, get a little bit over to
I was
the
like,
left.
I went to pull because I seen him move. Like that was the first moment I seen him. Was when I went to pull, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to get him. And then I realized he was just crawling, and I realized he wasn't worried about us. He was getting the fuck out of there. Like, that was it.
He was worried about us.
Yeah, but he wasn't looking at us at all.
Oh,
He was just worried about getting the
I
hell
think it
out
was
of
quite
there.
a good distance away still.
Yeah.
Still 30-some yards.
So we were probably 60 yards from the first time I thought about it. And then we got over that wall. Got within 40. A little bit under 40.
Was
got
40?
him.
Really?
I think so. That's what I aimed with, was my 40 pin right in the middle of his back, right between his shoulder blades, and that's where I got him.
Right through.
Right through his spine and right through both of his lungs.
That's the shot that like that's the shot that I thought you were talking about, or that you got the second time on the second shot.
No.
I thought that was the shot when we looked at it through after we skinned it.
Yeah.
Like this is where
that's the hole in the
third
chest.
one went. Yeah, the big hole through the.
Well, the big hole's in the back, but the
back.
broadhead just poked just like an inch out the chest. Poked a little hole.
For the
Because when we
second-
rolled him over, it was still there, eh?
I thought it went right through.
Well, it wasn't the ground yet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's actually less than an inch, probably more like 4 or 5, because it was in that log, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it
It
just
went
pinned him
through,
down. It
yeah.
just pinned him down.
And then
That was it. And I skinned him out the other, I skinned out his paws, took him out of the freezer the other day. He's got big paws on him.
Bigger than
I thought.
eh?
Bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
He's a decent sized bird. He's a little short, but
It's heavy to get out of there. Going up all that brush and
we're lucky he was small.
bushlight.
We're lucky he was small. If he was a big one, we would have been.
We would have been tired recording him out there, right?
Well, yeah, that's what we would have to do. Was
Get
skin
in
him,
the dark.
skin him, and then quarter him to get his body out.
And down in that ravine. With all
We didn't
that.
even gut him there either. We gutted him. Or did we? Oh,
We
yeah,
got
we
him.
did gut him.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we did.
Oh yeah, you would have been real heavy.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Wasn't too bad to carry though.
No, but the bugs.
Like a
do
human.
you remember the mosquitoes?
Terrible.
That's Courtney's job, was just to hold a sweater
Yeah,
and
I
swing
remember
us.
that.
Just keep the mosquitoes off of us as we're just like drenched in sweat hauling this bear up through this fucking, what was it, like rose bushes and thick willows and spider webs. And,
Bushwhacking it hard.
and we didn't even go around the ravine because it was way longer, so we just cut right through to the road. And it was a pretty rough trail, throwing him over deadfall. And
Yeah.
But he was worth it. It was like the first animal with my bow. Your first bear. Your first bear.
First real close-up hunting experience for me. That was intense. It's
It
real
was intense. And that was just trail hunting. Like that wasn't even stand hunting or anything.
Yeah. There's no effort into that. It's so
There was effort, but the effort comes afterwards.
before we just went up the road. We were up there not even 2 clicks, not even a 2-click road, I bet. What road was that again, Courtney? I think something.
It was, yeah.
Just took a right, went up there a little bit. 2 bears right on the right hand side. The other one noticed us. The other one didn't.
Yeah, I still had to get. We were watching him for 5-7 minutes before I took a shot though. Just trying to get down that hill. Cause I was gonna shoot him right from the road, right? And it was like 46, 47 yards. I was like, gotta get down that hill.
Over that hill. You were standing on an angle when you were shooting. I'm pretty sure. Were you looking through that
Yeah,
window?
I had one knee on the ground.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. Cause I couldn't get down that first full slope. I was halfway down the slope, so I could look through the spruce trees. I was down on one knee.
You didn't want to get very close to either because you didn't know how injured he was at the time, right?
Exactly.
He
He was just
sitting
he was just sitting there, not even looking at us. So I was kind of scared that he might just snap and turn. And I was
Right.
trying to get up that hill, man.
And bull rush.
Yeah, I was trying to get up that hill. It wouldn't have happened in time.
Not before.
Not before him, man.
Not before a bear. Tell me that. Look at that.
The only thing that worries me a little bit about, well, it doesn't even worry me, but about that video is just that we did shoot him 3 times. I think that's why we got so many dislikes on that YouTube video.
Oh yeah. Well,
But it's a real thing, and you know what?
once you commit to it, you can't just
Yeah, exactly.
stop.
And
It's probably better to shoot him 3 times than leave him injured.
well, that's the thing. We got him too.
Well, we were trying to get at him as quickly as possible. But we didn't want to put our own safety in jeopardy, right? Defense mode.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a good time. That was really the time where it decided for me that I was either gonna hunt or not hunt anymore. That was the moment.
What was the turning point? What
the
was
exact moment that that arrow went through the back of that bear, and the moaning.
Oh, the moment that you knew it was done. That was it. The moment that you knew that
Well,
we
like
took,
the moment that
took
you
the
feel
animal.
compassion for it, you know.
You're just like,
for
we
a
just
moment.
really did it.
Yeah, like exactly. That's the real. That was my turning point anyway. So I'm pretty late to get into hunting. 21 years old, just got into it, right? So that was a new thing.
It's never too late. You're into it now. You're balls deep.
Love it.
You can't pull out of this one either.
When have I pulled out of a hunt? Oh, I really want to get a wolf though. I want to see one at least.
A bull. Is that what you said?
A wolf.
Oh, a wolf.
But also a bull though. I'd really like to get a first ungulate this year. At least something. Get some good meat in the freezer.
Well, if nothing else, you can shoot it. You can always shoot a doe.
Come around them lots.
You know, I've been seeing lots of bucks this year though, and word on the street from all the old guys that know their shit about hunting. Been saying that this is the cycle year. This is the year that's gonna be big
For all the
for
bucks.
bucks. You know, we've had last 2 years we've had big bucks, bigger bucks. This year, like, could be the big banger, right?
No, I was listening to Rogan's podcast, and they're talking about the deer that they get in like America compared to the size that we get here.
Yeah, like
It's
what?
ridiculous.
Like,
100-pound
like
difference.
oh man, I got a huge whitetail this weekend, and it was like 150, 100 or 125, 150 pounds. Like here, you can get like two. You can get, sometimes people have shot like 300-pound deer, man.
I believe it. Just see
Like
them.
big boys.
And then they show like a little size comparison chart for
Oh, it's
region
unbelievable.
type thing. It's ridiculous. How
Just
much bigger
even-
they get. Everything
even-
in the north.
Even at work, just in the taxidermy shop, you look, and like, we'll have we have just a small deer. Somebody got done. Like nothing huge. But it's below average deer actually, I think, and like the neck is just tiny, and it's got light fur, and it's just.
How
And then,
old is it?
oh, I don't know how old it was. Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And well, I'm just not a big gene. Like, it doesn't have the genes to be a big deer.
Mhm.
It's got a nice looking rack, but it's not heavy. Anyway,
Oh.
right beside, like, freaking Alberta monster, like huge, and it's like 2 necks of that small one, like fit like the big one. It's
You'd be surprised how big
unbelievable.
those necks get, man. The necks are the most impressive part to me on the doe, or on the buck,
yeah.
on the eland. You get these huge monsters that look like they're from on steroids. They look like they're
It's just buff. Yeah.
they look like they're fed steroids.
Yeah, it's good gene deer, and
And then all the genes up here are good,
we got some good ones up here.
so they all mate with each other and make better genes.
You know, cold. That's what I think. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and they were talking about. Well, actually, it might not have been Joe Rogan. It could have been Jay Scott or one of those other hunting. I was listening to a hunting podcast.
What was
Anyway,
do you remember the name of it?
no, I'm trying to remember, but I can't. Anyway, they were talking about. You know what? I think it was Joe Rogan. Anyway, they were talking about the size difference between the United States. Like the deer in the States compared to the farther north you get, the bigger ones. Like even the northern states have bigger deer than the southern states.
Like
Substantially.
Montana, I'm pretty sure. Montana's pretty close. Pretty north, is it not?
Yeah, very north. It's most northern state. One
You
of the
get-
most northern states.
You get big ones in there because I see him actually count on UFC when Brock Lesnar used to live there.
Oh yeah.
And he goes hunting all the time. He's like a hunting fanatic, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Actually
maybe
has
not.
like some good videos.
He's good friends with Rogan, isn't he?
I don't know. Must be. I don't know. They're all friends, aren't they?
Yeah, they all beat the shit out of each other.
They're all crazy. But he goes hunting up there and this big deer. This big guy manhandling these big deer.
That's awesome.
But I just wrote down here Steve Rinella. That's another good one to watch if you're in the hunt.
Yeah, I'm reading his book right now. It's great so far. It's just kind of his life story, I guess.
How he got
It's
into
called,
everything.
it's just called Meat Eater Adventures from the Life of an American Hunter. I highlighted a little piece of his book I really liked.
Oh, you read the book on the
Yeah,
phone.
I just downloaded it here.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll show the highlight. Just from scrolling here. Anyway, it was something about the huge controversy of anti-hunters and hunters who support. Okay, here we go. So the quote is, "If hunters really did get their jollies by killing animals, why would we go through the hassle of trying to find wild and unpredictable game animals under sometimes exceedingly difficult environmental circumstances when we could just volunteer at the Humane Society and kill a few dozen dogs and cats in an afternoon? Or get a job at Iowa slaughterhouse and kill a couple hundred cattle a day in air-conditioned comfort." So,
That's where your meat's coming from,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Like
Pretty-
if hunters, the argument is, some anti-hunters, or maybe all of them, they're all uneducated anyway, think that
uneducated on the topic.
exactly, that's what I mean.
Right?
Well, or just not open-minded, not optimistic about the topic. Once they They think that you're wrong and you're evil for doing what you're
killing
doing.
Bambi,
Yeah, exactly.
right? How many times have you guys heard that?
Tons. So the premise is just that anti-hunters think that, or some people think that hunters hunt because they like killing stuff, and it's the psychotic or psychopath
It's really not.
tendency, but it's not. It has
Really
nothing
not.
to do with that.
I think this leads me back to like my first experience. We were just talking about with the bear. It was deep. It was, you know, you kill something, right?
Yeah.
You feel for it, but you know that's how you get your meat naturally. This is a real process, right? This is the most natural process
Exactly.
of getting food, meat, right? I think it's good for population too.
Well, it's
You look into it. the stats are there.
hunting. Hunting is conservation.
It's a byproduct. Conservation is like a byproduct of hunting.
Exactly.
I've heard that said. I
Exactly.
can't remember exactly who said it. Sorry, I steal the quote.
What is it?
Especially
I
when it's
just-
regulated properly, right? You don't fucking go out there and poach all the time.
Well, exactly. There's laws to follow. There's
Procedures,
there's
ethics.
yeah, and
Hopefully, one would have ethics.
and you know, anti-hunters use, or whatever you want to call them, vegans, vegetarians, whatever category they fall under. People that believe or don't believe in hunting often think that like you're portrayed as this bad guy.
Barbaric.
Yeah, or barbaric, or what's the Looney Tunes hunter there?
Oh, I can't remember his name. Do you know? Give us a quick search there, Courtney. Can you look it up?
Yeah, that's gonna bug me. I don't know why I can't think of that.
Hang on.
It's been a little too long.
Anyway, you're you know, you're portrayed as this redneck
Oh yeah, redneck for sure.
gun wielding like hillbilly who walks out into the bush into their backyard and just starts shooting at movement.
Yeah.
Like that's not how it is. And you don't just go out there and slaughter everything you see. That's not the way it works. And as like a community, as hunters in a whole, if non-believers or non-supporters
Unbelievable.
Horrified.
no hey, Elmer Fudd, yeah
Elmer Fudd.
yeah
Thank you,
duck
Courtney.
season, wabbit season.
I'm hunting wabbit.
Yeah, like people who don't believe or people who don't support the act and the art of hunting often point out people who, or assemble people who screw up, like poachers, and you know they put us into this one
Well, yeah, it's
one group, and like not everybody poaches. Most people don't poach, and hunters don't appreciate. True
Hunters?
conservationists.
hunters don't like poachers.
True conservationists aren't poachers. They don't poach. You know, you go out there, you follow the laws, you fill your tags.
I think everyone
don't
has
fill
a
your
different-
tags?
I think people have a lot of different views on what you would call a conservationist in the first place, because a conservationist is actually a career type, is it not? And like, not a lot of people.
Well,
would
it is.
agree
I
that
ju-
hunting is conservation.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the
It's
main-
absolutely
Yeah,
conservation.
it is.
in my
Like, a lot of
opinion-
people
my
don't
opinion.
see it that.
Hunting, in some countries, hunting is brings the most revenue into population control, animal, you know,
Just people
like
that-
animal sanctuaries. Like in Africa, like you can go pay for a hunt, like everybody
I
else.
see.
We can bring up Cecil the lion.
Oh, did you guys see the giraffe today that was hunting?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't read the post.
Oh man, people were hammering
Just
away.
hating.
I'm pretty sure that the back. I'm not sure. I didn't go too deep into it, but the backstory is that I guess she got the giraffe and gave it to a tribe, like the meat of it, right? And it was a giraffe that was close to dying anyway.
Yeah. So people are hating on her or what? I didn't
there's-
read. I saw the
there's
pictures,
hate,
but I
there's
didn't read.
hate. There's always hate, right?
But that's just the thing is
They're not looking at what it was for.
and
The
they
circumstances.
don't like people who argue that this dentist is a freaking villain, like from a nightmare because he killed a lion.
Mm.
Like, and the way that, you know, we don't know the full story, but they claim that the lion was baited out of the out of the fence, out of the sanctuary. He was lured outside, and then they shot him right outside the fence.
Poached him.
Well,
I
it
don't
was
know
a,
the
no, it was a
same thing.
legal hunt,
I actually don't know the story about this.
completely legal hunt. This you must have heard of it.
I've heard of Cecil the lion. That's what he's called, right?
That's
The
his name.
lion.
Yeah.
So what's the backstory on that?
So it's the same as that giraffe thing. It just blew up like crazy. This dentist paid for. I'm gonna have to get back to my original point
Well,
eventually, but
He was
he paid for a guided hunt
Mhm.
on a game sanctuary, and I think, well, when he got the lion, they knew like the way that game sanctuary guided hunts work is usually the sanctuary, the people that work there, the people who take care of the animals, know all the animals individually, and they know which one you're gonna take. They decide for you,
Hence the name Cecil.
right? Which is why they would have named it. Which is another huge reason why this bothers people so much, is because it had a name.
Yeah.
Human like tendencies, like it had a name, so
It's gotta be.
it's somehow more superior than other wild animals just
Yeah.
because it had a name.
Well, what was it doing?
So he took the lion and took some pictures of him holding it, and posted them on Facebook, and it just blew up, went everywhere.
Mhm.
People hating on him, and just it went viral literally, and it was on the news, and people were trying to sue him, and I think he might even got death threats and stuff. Like, it was bad, and the way it was advertised, or the way that people portrayed it, was that
Spare the lion, kill the
that
human.
the lion was lured out with bait, like literally like baited,
Shot.
like holding a stake, like come out of the fence so I can shoot you. But that's obviously not what happened.
And he
And
was in the game sanctuary, like you said. So.
well, he was shot just outside of the game sanctuary, but he was from the game sanctuary.
Interesting.
But what people don't realize is that all that money that he paid to shoot that lion goes right back into that sanctuary, and they get more money. They get to build better fences, get to have
Put
more into like saving them, if they're saving the animals if they're sick, if
all that conservation.
all that stuff.
That's
exactly.
conservation.
That's where, and that's the thing. That's what people don't
Came
realize.
back.
Full circle.
Yeah.
What people
Well,
don't realize is that most of the revenue, and in lots of places, the meat all goes back
To like a village.
to that village
area.
or to that area, right?
Mhm.
Like in Africa, like this giraffe you're talking about. I didn't read the story, but all that meat, you said, is gonna go right back to the tribe, right?
Well, how they're so.
So they get
how
money.
do you get-
These people paid this village or this sanctuary or whatever all this money to shoot this giraffe.
Mhm.
So they get all the money and they get all the meat,
Mhm.
and
That's only beneficial to them, right?
exactly.
Everyone wins. Plus,
Exactly.
the giraffe was old, from what I read.
Well, that's the thing, right?
And it was like on its last limb.
So instead of just shooting it with a poison dart, or like going out, it's gonna die anyway. They're either gonna kill it, it's gonna die slowly in the wild, in natural,
Yeah.
or they can, let somebody.
And sometimes the animals become problems.
Oh, exactly. Especially when they're sick. Sometimes,
Here is a good example, is it not? For wolves.
Yeah. Well, and the big Yellowstone wolf.
I heard a lot discussed that in northern Canada, it's bad for the fawns, all the ungulates.
Oh, it
when
is.
when you let these wolves and you let these bears, big boars that go around and cannibalize, they eat they look actively in the spring to cannibalize young.
Yeah.
So if you take these bears out, these bigger bears that are destroying their own population, other populations of newborn fawns, right? What was that story that you told me? Like 6 kilometers away from a newborn fawn, and he just feline directly towards.
Yeah, I think I remember telling you this story. It's one of the first stories we were ever talking about. But that, I don't want to give exact numbers because it could be wrong. But from what I remember, a CEO told me this story a long time ago, where a grizzly bear, they had him collared or tagged. They were tracking him, and somebody had reported a elk or moose being like a calf being born, and so Fish and Wildlife knew where both of these sites were, where this bear was and where this calf was, and this bear traveled like damn near. Well, it traveled like several kilometers.
After they checked the data on it.
Several kilometers it traveled to this calf. Like just it was traveling. I guess it was just traveling one way, and then it just beelined like at the same. Like within the same time, just beeline like straight to that calf, and just literally just crushed through the bush for however long, straight to this birth site.
Placenta and
like just
blood.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Scary. Their noses are that good.
Well, yeah, and they're that interested.
Maybe that nerd told you it was no different as a kayak site, man. That bear was interested. That grizzly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. Well, let's bring that up again. What were we were just talking about?
We were talking about the conservation of the wolves and
the wolves. Yeah, we were talking about
getting
wolves.
all the fawns. So the wolves, yeah.
So when I was in the Yukon, we were down in this valley camping. It was our last little. We were at a lake called Teepee Lake, and it was our last little. Our last leg of our trip, basically. We traveled in there. We were already in the bush for 5 days when we got there. 4 or 5 days when we got to the lake, and then that was our last camp. And then we were just gonna travel all the way out 10 hours in the last day of the school. And we went up and glassed moose just above this lake on the mountain, and was talking to the guy, the outfitter, and he said that he's had a real problem lately with bears and wolves killing like moose calves, and he said he sees like he finds like he said he's seen like calf kills, like wolves. He's seen wolves while he's glassing for moose. He's seen wolves running through and like killing calves. And he's found calf sites, like dead sites and stuff. And then he said that this past winter, or the winter before that, he has been he's been trapping a lot of wolves. And he said that he hasn't found a single site since. Like I guess he trapped the shit out of the wolves, and it's controlled. No. It's controlled. He said this is the most moose population he's seen spike in a long time.
I was just gonna say that. I bet you the moose spike came up after.
It came, and he noticed that with no like mathematical data. He just he can see it with his own eyes. Exactly.
There's something to be said about this experience of actually living there and knowing the land,
exactly,
as opposed to like just based on pure numbers, which would be hard to gather anyways unless you've tagged so many wolves or anything.
Yeah,
they are a problem.
But yeah, so back to the, we should really talk about that kayak trip experience, because there's a lot of people, especially I know Mr. Melson is Evan there. He would appreciate. He always does appreciate talking about it. It really scares the shit out of him as much as it scares the shit out of us, which is a good thing. So I still talk to him about it when I see him.
It's terrifying, man.
So what happened?
So what day is it? The third.
It was our last day. It was our last night.
Third night we're on that little island, a tiny little sliver of an island.
So yeah, so describe the island.
Half of it was probably I would say
3/4 of it was just a rock. Just a rock beach.
Big rock beach, and then the rest of it was thick bushwhack, a couple little trails.
It was probably 3/4 of a kilometer long, just a skinny
little island on two sides of rushing rapids.
Yeah.
And then it dropped off like 3 or 4 feet, just dramatic drop off.
Just cliffed off on the side we camped on. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're about 4 or 5 feet from the drop off, so there's only a small portion
in the little 12 feet of bush line that we had between the water and the rock beach. 12 feet of just like open pine.
Yeah, it wasn't good stuff. There's a whole bunch of weeds growing. It's just shitty ground too.
Well, it's better than what we stayed in before.
Ugh, the night before.
But it would have been a lot of work to make a natural shelter.
Yeah, full natural shelter instead of just
I think
throwing up
we used an
a-
A-frame, and it was well. I think
We didn't.
it held up. Nobody got wet.
It's usually nice enough. Nobody gets wet, and then it was nice before that. We did all the TP ones. But anyways, back to the bear. So we think that the bear came from north. What side were we facing? It would have been north, right?
The island ran.
I thought we did discuss this when we were talking.
We did discuss it at one
That it was
point.
like the north side. I can't remember.
Which way did the island? The island ran east to west, didn't it? And then the rock beach was the north side. And then the cliff would have been the south side of the
I
island.
remember where the sun set.
Oh, it doesn't matter anyway.
Came from the other side of the rapids. It's funny because you guys
Came across.
Yeah, you guys before were like, oh, that water should be fast enough that no bears.
Well, that's what I
can-"
was thinking. I was like, you know what, Evan, as long as we clean up and we're smart tonight, I said we shouldn't have to worry about something crossing the water because that's fast moving water. Like unless there's something of interest
Mhm. Of smelling interest.
or even light. Like sometimes a fire can attract stuff.
Mhm. You're curious, right? So you came right over across the island. I think we honestly thought it was just an ungulate.
Well, that's what I was hoping for. So yeah, the wind was blowing. We were 3/4 of the way down the one side, and we took up our group took up the middle portion of the island, the very center portion. We were on one end, then there was 3 or 4 groups between us, and then there was the big group on the far end,
Mm-hmm.
farthest upriver end. So we were downriver of everybody, right?
Yeah.
And also, we were also upwind of everybody because the wind was blowing the opposite way of the water. So the wind was hitting us first, and then the rest of the group after that.
Yeah.
And there was only 3 of us awake, me, you, and the other supervisor. And we're just standing around the fire. We weren't even eating anymore or nothing, eh?
We were just talking about the supervisor was just talking about the bear story that
Yeah,
we encountered, and then
her encounter, yeah.
And why she didn't like to be out there,
And we're all holding, for whatever reason, thank God, actually, we were all holding flashlights, eh?
Mhm.
And it had just gotten to the point where it was pitch black, and no moon, no light. It was just the fire. And
big boy came trampling through.
heard a crack, and then another crack, and then like a thump, and then another crack, and I turned around, and all 3 of us pretty much put lights on it at the same time. Seen a shape and a set of eyes, and
Booked it.
and it just took off onto the rock shelf. We heard it hit the rocks like heavy. You knew it was something big,
It sounded like a hoof.
and it sounded like a hoof because it was so big. That's what
Yeah.
I thought.
The
It
rock
sounded like
clacking against.
a
the rock.
hoof hitting a rock.
But it could just be the other rocks hitting.
Well,
The
that's
other
what
rocks
happened.
hard, right?
So we're sitting there going, "Oh, I think that was a moose. Yeah, that was probably a moose or an elk. It was, you know, calm down, Evelyn. It wasn't a bear. I don't think. I don't think a bear would have. We wouldn't. I don't think we would have scared off a bear.
Why?
But then I was thinking in my head, like,
Food.
why would a moose or an elk come walk up to us when we're making that much noise? Because we were making a
And we
lot
had
of
fire
noise.
going.
And we had a big fire going, and so we're all a little bit on. I know you were trying to keep your head clear the whole night. Just kept talking about stuff, keeping your mind off of it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't know. In the back of my mind, I was thinking that was a fucking bear. That was a bear. And I don't want to know. I don't want to think. I don't want to believe that. But it was a bear.
So we went the next morning to the north or the whatever side of the island, the side that it came from,
It
and
would
you
have been
could
west,
see
the very west island.
probably the west side.
So yeah, so I walked down there, and that's actually in the kayak video.
Yeah, we got footage of that. This
I
big
walked down there, and
prints there.
big old frickin' grizzly prints, and there's still got water in them.
Still got water in them, yeah, from the night before.
3 hours.
'Cause it still
four-
got dark
4
early.
hours.
No, it was still dark early, wasn't it?
Oh,
Early
no.
spring. That's the 20th of April. 21st
Oh
or
yeah,
22nd.
it was.
So it's still getting dark at around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Well,
But we
even
were.
earlier, you know.
That was at like 2 in the morning. Was when we seen
Yeah,
it
yeah.
though.
So they're still wet when we were up there.
And it
Got
was
some
probably
footage
9
of that.
o'clock. It was 8 because we took off before 9. So it was early in the morning, right? So it was it was 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you know, I showed them in the video.
The food was
like they're bigger than those tracks are bigger than my foot.
Yeah.
Both my feet. Like they were big, and to be still wet, it just something about knowing that they are absolutely like as fresh as they can be. And confirming all my thoughts and like just thinking like, holy crap, something really bad could have happened last night.
Yeah.
What was the kicker? As soon as I got back from checking out to see if it had taken off, got back to camp, and what do I see hanging on the tree?
Oh yeah, a can of ham, or an old can of ham that someone left on the
Yeah,
tree.
like a spam can that somebody had
Shit.
eaten spam at supper time and hung the can, the oily, still had ham in it can on the tree right above our shelter. Literally just about dripping on our shelter.
Yeah, and everyone else had food in their camp and stuff like that.
Yeah, we found out in the morning. I went for a little walk down the whole island, see what was up, and the group at the farthest end had soup and chips and juice and all kinds of stuff laying out of their tent and in their tent. They had bags of chips and candy and just a mess of junk hanging around their tent. And if the wind was blowing the other way,
would have caught wind on the bear.
I completely believe that bear would have just put its head down and went right through us.
Mm-hmm. Didn't give a fuck.
But we're lucky that it couldn't smell. It must. I would say it was probably curious on our sound and the light.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it smelled the food,
in my neighborhood?
If it smelled the food, it would have been. And if it came from the other side of the island, like what would have happened? We would have just heard screaming. And,
Screaming
and nothing.
panicking.
Could have done nothing. I would have been get to the canoe. We're going in the water.
At night.
Oh yeah, better than being on an island with a bear.
A hungry bear.
So yeah, that was a little bit.
I was scared. Yeah, that was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Especially you realize it afterwards. So
Well, and when
you give a little talk about
I didn't even tell Melson. I just went up to him in the morning after. Remember, because I said, "Did you walk to the island?" You said, "I walked most of the way. Didn't see nothing." I said, "Well, did you go down to the end? Because there was sand. I noticed there was sand on the end the day before." He said, "No, I didn't go that far." So I went down all the way, and that's where I found those tracks. And then I came back, and you and Melson were cooking breakfast. And I said, "Hey, Melson, can you get a minute to talk to me here?" And I took him down there. And I said, "You remember last night when you thought we were screwing around with an air horn?" He said, "Yeah." I'm like, "This is what we were screwing around about." And he looked down, and I've never seen that much emotion in that man's face. Like, his eyes...
Especially because it was right behind where he was. Right there.
His eyes got like freaking golf balls. Like, just huge. And he was like, "Oh my God."
Well,
I said, "Those are grizzly tracks." And that just clicked even worse. Like, he knew they were bear tracks, but I said, "Those are grizzly tracks." And he was just like...
Which one? What was the other kid that did the same thing when you were
Roy?
talking to him? Roy.
Was it Roy? Yeah.
I think it was Roy. No, it was Arden.
He was laughing. No, Roy was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah."
I think Lawrence too.
Yeah, oh yeah, Lawrence too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad show. That could have been really, really, really bad.
Well, it's intense for everyone there, man. I think everyone will be a lot more cautious of the food.
Well, Melson will be for sure. Melson will be checking camps.
Yeah, he'll probably check the camp a lot. Which is good. You should. You really should. But you'd think that people would after.
Well, you just gotta care. You gotta know that something like that could happen. You're not.
We didn't have any firepower either.
None. We didn't have a gun with us. Never do that again.
Alright, let's see.
A couple more notes I think we can talk about.
I wrote down White Court and Steve
Oh,
Vanilla.
yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about our moose hunt that's coming up.
23rd of August.
Well, yeah. Well, we're not completely sure on the dates yet. It's gonna be definitely over the 25th, though.
Yeah.
Well, definitely over. Just after the 25th, that weekend for sure. 238 or 300 kilometers in total on that river.
338.
Was it? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That might have been all the way to that basket.
We can go all the way to that.
We can. I'm down. Okay. Well, unless we get a moose early.
Well, the thing will be is we'll have to try and hunt when we can get it out. We're gonna have to like consider that, because it could be like, if it's cold it's not a big deal, but if it's hot like this, like if it's 20 degrees out, even 15 degrees, there's no way to keep that much meat cool.
Oh yeah, pain in the butt. So we'll have that to deal with. So we are looking for a canoe right now. And
Got a couple hits on our post.
Yeah, the one lady sounds pretty.
Well, I'll have to get back to her after I'm done this before I go home, but yeah.
That would be cool. But we're gonna do another film here and see what we can do with it. Like we were saying, it's gonna be a very good time. Probably the longest trip that me and Erik have endeavored on so far, especially with the length of it and the possibilities of it, right?
Well, yeah, and just the goals of it is gonna be
tremendous.
And to be going alone, we're not going with a group this time. It's just gonna be us two, which is not. That's for me. That's not a breaking point or dividing factor or anything. It's just
I like it, to be honest, because
we can do our own thing.
Yeah,
that's my thing
smoother.
too.
It's a lot smoother process.
We don't have to. I don't have to camp for 12 other people. Camp for me, and I gotta think for me. That's it.
That's it. Exactly. And there's not extra food laying around.
Yeah, we know that.
Bugs me, man.
Oh, it bugs me too.
After 2 days, it's getting cold. But yeah, so we'll go do that. And
yeah, so it's gonna be about.
Filming.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 300 kilometers, and hopefully we can. Make a good. Well, yeah. Call a moose in, spot one.
The idea, I think, depending on when we leave, will be to canoe most of the time early, find places on the
where we can get out if we need to.
every night.
Yeah.
Set up shelter, and then if we're for the days that we're not canoeing, we're gonna just hunt all day long.
And we'll be able to do that if we have a lot of days. We'll be able to do that. So.
Yeah. Oh, we can just camp at one spot for a while too.
Yeah.
Stay there for a couple days and go hunting.
Yeah, it would be nice to actually. It would be nice to go all the way to Athabasca and then get out, and then we can check that camera on our way home.
Oh, the one.
Check that one on the elk there. No, the one that are on the elk.
Oh.
We can check both cameras within the same couple days. That one's got elk on it, so.
We can do that in the same day. Just go to the elk.
Well, no, that's a long ways, but the same trip we can do it.
Yeah, same trip. On the way. Just boat, throw the canoe back into the river.
Yeah, or.
Depending on
It does depend on
the meat situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Good adventures.
Yes, we're gonna have to start. It's in motion now, so I guess we just gotta get some dates and
food.
Get some food planning done. I'm gonna stick with some Mountain House, some.
Those are the good ones.
Some freeze dried stuff.
It's freeze dried food that you just put hot water, boiling water into.
It's the stuff you got me.
So good.
It's gonna be stinky living in a tent, living on Mountain House, but it's it's lighter than packing a whole bunch of cooler fulls of, yeah, gives you gas.
Oh.
Especially if you're on a diet of strictly Mountain House.
Mountain House and granola.
Yeah.
Shitting yourself.
Yeah.
What was else? Something about bait, some trap, or.
Well, yeah, we can
cameras.
talk a little bit about.
A little bit of our scouting that we haven't done anything of this year. So.
We have. We got some cameras out. We've cut some trails. We've.
It's true. Oh yeah, we did actually cut that trail
did quite a bit of scouting actually.
To the island there.
Not only hunting scouting too. We're doing some winter scouting. We got 2 cameras up right now. We got Primal under the elk camera and the old bear site. Actually, we never even moved it because we had elk coming right through our bear site when there's still bait on it.
There's lots of things.
So, and deer too. Well, we know there's deer. There's deer everywhere.
There's deer there on the camera that.
With an elk. With an elk.
Coincidentally got caught.
Yeah,
they were walking like side by side.
The elk was walking and screwing around in front of the camera, and then all of a sudden we're looking on the video, and there's a freaking deer walking by and just doing its own thing, and.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, Well, I knew there was deer there. I've seen deer there lots before, but it's good to know the elk come through that because that's
big elk there.
That's a really good position. That's a really good kind of forest to call elk too because you can see them.
I hope that the big boy comes back. It was a big one.
Yeah. We can start hunting there. I think on the 25th too, and it could be the 1st for elk. No moose though.
I've really seen one there. It was a female.
Yeah, I've never seen a bull there actually. I've seen cow and a calf
And
lots.
she was covered in ticks. Eh?
Yeah, that was just the young one. I think that was the little one we saw in the wintertime.
Looking rough with
Same
all
one.
her shag or whatever. You got
That's just the
on.
spring moose look though. Yeah, and then we got that other camera's got that salt block, so I really hope that one works because we really took a gamble with that one. There's a little bit of game sign, and we know that there's deer, and we know that there has been or was moose on in that area. Well, there was some fresh-ish,
Could be from the winter.
but nothing soft still, nothing. But we know there's deer there, so hopefully there's bucks and bulls on in that area. So
And it'll get more optimistic towards the summertime or the wintertime too. Once it freezes over,
yeah,
stuff gets crossing. Hopefully, if they want.
How are you
So
guys
good.
planning on getting to the island in the winter?
We're gonna just drag sleds with us. We actually cut a trail. That's another thing that we did. We cut a trail from the
Yeah, but
nearest.
won't the lake freeze?
the river.
Yeah.
It'll freeze.
Yeah, we're gonna snowshoe right over. Sleds with us. That'll be the easiest way to transport stuff out there this winter, right? That'll be the time to do it. We're gonna transport out a bunch of stuff.
We're gonna have to do some serious careful ice examination.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause it's
We
still
should make
moving.
we should make some for when we do cross. It's gonna be late in the winter, and we're gonna make sure. I think we should make some ice spikes, and maybe we tie ourselves to one another, and let one guy go across. And
if you fall, I fall.
no, if I fall, you better pull me the fuck out. That river.
Yeah, keep a distance.
Yeah, you'll stay on the edge. That river does freeze.
Yeah, it freezes.
And it
but
freezes.
moves.
Well, it's moving water, but I think we'll be able to cross it as long as we get a good cold
I see
winter.
people ski on it this year, or last year. Sorry.
Skidoo or ski?
Ski.
Like cross country.
Cross country ski right down the side of the Smith River, just over here.
Okay, right on.
I've seen people do it. It must be
I've
a
seen
long
skidoo
trail.
tracks on there.
So yeah, the winter time will be interesting because we cut that trail already. And it's just down. Do you remember where we camped for May long? Just literally straight down. Like if you go down onto that road and you go down, where we went
It's
home,
hidden.
It's hidden.
I asked Eric where it was, and he wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, it's hidden. You'll never be able to see it from the road or anything. But
Yeah.
it's in that area.
Nice.
Just to remind you. Nobody else will know where that is.
No.
So it's nice and isolated. The winter time is going to be a good time because I want to get a lot of that work done over there.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of
Sounds
work.
like fun.
A lot of work to be done for the log cabin out there that we're gonna put, and no one's ever gonna know where.
Our secret escape. Yeah, so this moose hunt's coming up quick. Actually, it's in less than
3
what is it?
weeks.
I think we only
Is it
started
10?
planning it a couple days ago too.
10th today. So we got 2 weeks. That's it.
2 weeks.
Less, it's a day less than 2 weeks if we go early.
So this weekend, and next weekend after is the weekend of the 20.
Yeah, but we're gonna try and leave like
Fourth?
Wednesday or Thursday.
Nice.
We gotta start getting logistics figured out.
Is there anything else we need to go over before?
No, I just wrote down Steve Ranella, but I just did that for my own reference to remember about. I don't know if I showed you, but one of his episodes. What's it called? Media Dude.
With the moose, when he walks up on the moose?
When he walks up on the moose, he shoots this moose with his rifle, right?
Yeah.
Then sits down and injured. He says it's like one of the dumbest things he's ever done.
Yeah.
Gets up on the moose, gets close. The moose is quartering away.
Yep.
Quartering away, right?
Yep.
Like that. He's quartering away from him at first.
Laying
then he
down.
stands up. Yeah, laying down. Then he stands up really quickly.
Well, what happens is
Two
he goes to put him down,
Mm-hmm.
and his
You hear
gun,
the click.
his gun clicks.
Yeah,
it
gun
misfires.
clicks, right?
It doesn't go off. So as soon as it clicks, that moose is like, "You're done, Steven." Like,
Yeah.
bye bye. And he gets up and doesn't even look like he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
Runs at Steven Ranella, and I think he took a tying up the ass just about.
Yeah, it looks like. Looks like the
he
moose
said
just got him on
he
the
said he
ass.
got hit and it kind of threw him into the shrubs
Yeah.
and his buddy there put him down. So,
Yeah, put him down right after.
but
Shot just dropped it.
but just like if we take a moose with a bow, we're waiting a couple hours unless we watch it drop. Like we're gonna be waiting.
Be careful. And it's much different because it's got to get way closer. And
Well, if we can call them, we'll get them close. If they're calling when we're out there, we'll be able to get
call.
close.
That's probably what we'll do.
Well, that's what I plan to do. Try it out. It might be too early, but
Getting that close to one is just intense in itself, right?
it's gonna be. You're not gonna believe how big they are, man.
They're dangerous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're so
More people
dangerous.
get killed by moose and injured by moose than bears.
You should see the antlers I have under my deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should.
Are they huge?
They're big.
Are they like
They're
longer
nice.
than you?
It's pretty big.
Just lay down inside of it.
This guy that I'm going to guide for, he's gotten
Yeah,
like
we talked about that. Your first guiding.
low
actually.
60s inch moose. I guess that's like
How big is that exactly? Like 12, right? That's huge.
it's
Fuck.
huge, man. That's like
Just
what they.
estimating here.
That's very similar to the amount of inches it's expected in the Yukon. Is what this guy harvests in Alberta.
like an average in Yukon.
Like what people expect to get in the Yukon. Like I'm pretty sure Boone and Crockett, which is like the records are somewhere in the high like 58 to I think up something or it might even be 54 up. I'd have
For
to look
here?
it up. I'd have to look it up just for in general.
How's that possible if this guy just had 60, the low 60s?
Well, he gets in the record book.
Okay. This guy's in the record book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And
he's
how
gotten
big is
record
yours?
moves.
50s?
I don't know. I just took a guess,
Oh,
but
right.
it's pretty good book or a pretty good size moose. But this
Guiding season for your first guide.
yeah
This is it.
coming up midway through September. We're working about a month. 6-day hunts, I think. 2 days in between, and it's just me and two guys.
Boating or what do you?
No, not boating. It's trail hunting. So I think what the plan is, we go in, get as far as we can in the vehicle, get hiking. It's my kind of hunting anyway.
Yeah, that's the best type of hunting. It's the funnest.
And calling, and he said that
Excuse me.
it could happen. It should happen. I hope it happens. I can't wait. Like,
Mhm.
it's gonna be awesome. I hope that I can be successful in it, and that's why I want to do a lot of moose work this early bow season. While we can.
Get into like the groove.
Because moose closes for bow by the time I get as soon as I leave actually just
Are you-
about.
Are you getting your tag?
For what?
Moose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get
We'll
mine.
only be able to take one in the canoe, unless we can export one.
I'll just
along.
get mine later then.
We can get it if you want. Because if you're gonna want to shoot it, if you get the opportunity where you're a better shot than me, or you can take the shot than me in the situation, I want you to be able to take it. You
Yeah.
better put it on your tag, because then I don't have to. I can go do my own by myself if I have to, right?
But for me getting one. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, man. I still want to eat my bear.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Excited
and
for
we got that deal set up with the outdoor ed class there at the schools.
Oh yeah, we're gonna give him we're gonna show him what's up with the bear and shit.
Yeah.
I can't even remember exactly what you told me.
Well, just he wants
Elaborate on
to. If we're gonna try and get a bear this fall, and he wants us to bring it in and just show the kids, like, show them, let them touch it, and let them look at the claws, and let them look at the teeth, and let them look at
The anatomy of a bear.
what this bear could do to you if you're not careful.
Right up close.
And it's too bad that I couldn't get my hands on a grizzly bear, man, because that would grizzly bears to me just blow my mind still. Like, and I've seen a couple, and it just blows my mind still. Like how long the claws are, how big they are.
How big they are. How much bigger they are than large black bears too. Like the big
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
black
yeah.
bears in The Yukon, I imagine that you've been seeing.
We actually didn't see any
No,
black bears in
nothing?
the Yukon. Just
Any
grizzlies.
sign?
Just grizzlies. There's lots of black
They're
bears
big.
there.
They're huge there, aren't they?
Oh yeah, well, grizzlies are huge in general.
They're all huge.
There's some big grizzlies back in the Swan Hills there. Some famous ones, Swan Hills grizzlies. By Canuso too. Actually, you ever been in the Canuso Museum? They got that big bear that lady shot with a .22.
Oh yeah, in the head. And
I don't know if she shot it. I think she shot it 8 times. They said.
I think it was all in the head because it had like a big hole in the head.
Oh, was it?
Isn't it?
Okay, I don't know.
That's the
I
one I was
haven't been there
just
in
gonna bring up.
years. Like
Yeah,
since
me
I
too.
was like 8.
We went there on a field trip in school, and
Yeah,
that's
me
how
too.
that's what I was gonna bring up. I'm glad you did. 'Cause that's intense.
Taking over the .22 8 times. I think it was a single shot too, which is even more impressive. Like that lady had some luck.
And it was an old granny hair.
Yeah, I think it was just an old lady that took it out.
What's impressive is the skull. I'm pretty sure it had many holes in its forehead.
Yeah, I don't remember the skull. I remember the mounted
The mouth.
standing.
I could
full-size
be
one.
mistaken for sure. But it was huge.
Oh yeah, it was big. It's
Huge.
big.
I don't want nothing to do with grizzlies. If I can't hunt them for their meat, I don't want nothing to do with them. Not here anyways, where we can't even get one, right? We can't
No.
get tags for them.
No, they're protected here.
Yeah.
The population's coming up though. Lots of word going around that people think that they should be opened up.
The biologists and conservationists will let us know when we can do that.
Yeah.
I want to do them. I want
Yeah, somebody with a better pay grade.
someone who goes out there all the time and monitors the population will figure that out for us. But till then, I want to get me a wolf.
Yeah, it might be better to get. We might be better luck to see them in the wintertime. Right. Also, they're also way better looking in the wintertime.
It was odd how much we went out and didn't see. We seen so many sign of
So
wolf,
it's a
but
pretty
not
pretty recent, fresh sign of wolves too. But you know,
marks.
they don't want nothing to do with us either. So
Oh, they were a little more curious.
they are sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think when we were screwing around that wolf area, I think it was just one,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not gonna mess around. If there's a
He
bunch of
probably
them.
only goes there.
If there's a bunch of them. I think he was just doing his circuit because we followed that trail.
Far. It went up.
We actually like kind of grid searched the trail
Mhm.
because the trail was on a grid, and we seen his little circuit where he dug every single intersection. It was amazing.
Yeah. Every
Unbelievable.
intersection he would dig at it, and then he would walk one way.
And then
Say
just
he
turn.
would go west.
Yeah.
And then he would come back.
He would get so we were following his prints for a long time that one day,
Yeah. Straight.
and he was just going straight. Got to an intersection. We seen his paw prints. It's just him. He dug a hole,
One set.
turned right.
Mhm.
We kept walking straight, and then a couple 3 hours, 4 hours later, we get to another intersection. Here come his tracks
Mhm.
right across again, and digs another hole,
Digs another hole.
and keeps going
And then we'll like turn again or something.
like he's landscaping the
It's
place.
crazy.
He's scouting it out.
Scouting it out, yeah. Just one lone wolf, it seemed like. There was no other prints.
No.
No other sign.
Just by himself. Yeah.
And that was the earlier ones that we went out on.
Yeah.
In, which area? Well, we don't need to say which area. It's one of the earlier ones. Lots of moose sign over in that area.
Oh, tons. But you can't get in there until it's frozen.
When we tried to
Remember the
get in
time
there
we-
this spring,
Yeah.
good lord. It was terrible. Up to like knees in water sometimes.
I was dry.
Yeah, you got those boots that failed you after a couple months
Yeah.
of usage. As soon as you went to the Yukon,
They failed me.
you.
They deteriorated in the Yukon, but supposed to be getting refunded for them. So
So you're gonna get a different type, right?
leather ones. Get some leather ones. I don't think I'll go back to fabric. The weight of the leather is better than. I would take the weight over wet feet because as soon as you get water in your boots, your feet are heavy anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So and leather lasts longer and you can take care of it easier.
And it absorbs it. Fabric will absorb the water.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It takes
it's
longer
just-
to dry too.
Exactly.
Leather. It's all about the leather.
Well, and you can seal leather too, right? You can't always seal fabric. Yeah. So what do we got for stuff coming out here pretty soon? I'll have some more Yukon footage I'm gonna
Yeah,
put
you
out.
will. You got all that stuff, don't you?
Um,
And we're gonna start We'll probably put out this. I think we should put this out in sections on different topics.
Well, I
We
was
just put
gonna,
it in a
just
separate.
gonna put it out as one whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah, we can do that. We got this, and nothing until we're ready to go on the.
Are we gonna put out some more of that kayak footage? I have some more footage. I have all that footage also. So does Jason, but I have all of it too.
You should put out some stuff of the rapids.
So we can put some of our shorts out too. Just have like the footage that wasn't in the video and put it out.
I think I have some of it too.
Yeah.
On hard drive here.
And
What did you think we should put out? The rapids.
I've been.
We should have lots of footage of the rapids.
Oh, we do.
shouldn't
We do. Yeah. I've been working on some more pro staffing deals, trying to get in with some companies. I did a broadhead. I sent an email to Slick Trick Broadheads, and I sent some stuff to Stone Glacier, actually, which is a mountain backpacking company out of Montana.
Yeah.
Kind of small. Actually, one of that Australian guy that I went to the Yukon with, he had a Stone Glacier backpack. He was telling me all about it. Showed me it. It's pretty wicked.
Mhm.
It's pretty.
Legit.
Looks like something that I want. Looks like it does all the things that I want it to do. So.
It'd be nice to get some feedback with some companies and work with them and
Exactly. Yeah.
help each other, potentially. Right? So.
Yeah. So that's just about it. Then we got some stuff coming out here pretty soon, and guess I've been trying to put some more focus on Facebook and Instagram. I've been doing a lot more on Instagram, and it seems to be working. Getting lots more activity, and
lots of love.
yeah. I think we should I want to get Jason into doing a little bit more on Facebook. Like even just posting and liking and sharing stuff, just so that people see our page more often. Because it doesn't always have to be our contact. We can always share that. Yeah, I think we should all be doing it. And I just need him. He's got to be doing something. And we don't have any footage for him.
I want to get some ideas from Jason on what he's thinking about with the editing. I want to get some of his feedback on how he wants to make the video. You should always go with what the person who's actually editing it feels is right? That's why I said when we went out, I want you to think about how this video is going to look when we went out on the island there.
Yeah.
I want you to think about what you want it to look like, and then take the appropriate scenes and footage to make that.
Yeah, he needs to plan it out a little bit in his head, especially if he's going to be taking the videos and stuff too. But one thing, I wish he could come on this moose hunt with us, but he can't, and he's just not ready to yet.
Yeah.
And well, and then we would need another boat.
Exactly. I have to get like a kayak or something.
The camera kayak.
That would actually be cool.
It would, but I don't know. Like we could talk about it, but it's just
It can't happen yet.
if we gotta pack more food, more water. We gotta make sure that he's got all the equipment that he needs. And I don't think he's.
Well, we gotta get comfortable as well, right?
Yeah, and he's not comfortable yet. And if there's a 1,000-pound moose running through the bush at him, I don't want him to lose his cool.
He'll get there.
He will eventually, just like you did. Just like I did.
I'd like to say, just like I'm learning to do.
All right.
So
Well,
let's wrap her up there.
I think we covered just about everything we want to cover.
We're gonna get pooped out here.
Slowing down a bit. All right. So that was our first Notrak Outbak podcast.
Featuring Erik Labrie, Courtney Whittle, whom has been quiet as a mouse.
She's just our critic. And Ryan Biggs.
Yeah, this guy here.
So
we're gonna do this again pretty soon, I think.
I was just going to say, I think we should do this again. Maybe we'll do a short one when we get our shit together with this moose hunt.
Yeah, and then we'll go over what we're gonna do and
what the
Our
plan is.
ideas.
We can. I'll get all my notes together, my maps together, and we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Get some good information.
go from
on it,
there.
and
Yeah.
Go from there.
We're gonna try and figure out this canoe deal, and other than that, it's a go. So
Mm-hmm. It's pretty exciting. So we're gonna get that done, and we'll end up catching you guys on the other side.
all right, that's it.